दैवात् क्षुभिता धर्मिण्याम् दैवात् क्षुभिता धर्मिण्याम् स्वास्यं योनौ परः पुमान् स्वास्यं योनौ परः पुमान् आदत्तवीर्यं सुसासौता आदत्तवीर्यं सासौता महत्तत्त्वं हिरण्मयम् दैवात् क्षुभिता धर्मिण्याम् स्वास्यं योनौ परः पुमान् आदत्तवीर्यं सासौता महत्तत्त्वं हिरण्मयम् दैवात् क्षुभिता धर्मिण्यं स्वास्यं योनौ परः पुमान् आदत्तवीर्यं सासौता महत्तत्त्वं विहिरण्मयम्. Word by word meaning. Daivat, by the destiny of conditioned souls. Kshubhita, agitated. Dharminyam, whose equilibrium of the modes. Swasyam is own. Yonau, in the womb, material nature. Parah Puman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Adatta, impregnated. Viryam, semen, his internal potency. Sa, she, material nature. Asauta, delivered. Mahattattvam, the sum total of cosmic intelligence. Hiranmayam, known as Hiranmaya. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. After the Supreme Personality of Godhead impregnates material nature with his internal potency, material nature delivers the sum total of cosmic intelligence, which is known as Hiranmaya. This takes place in material nature when she is agitated by the destinations of the conditioned souls. Purport. The impregnation of material nature is described in Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, verse 3. Material nature's primal factor is the Mahatattva, or breeding source of all varieties. The part of material nature, which is called Pradhana as well as Brahman, is impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and delivers varieties of living entities. Material nature in this connection is called Brahman because it is perverted reflection of spiritual nature. It is described in Vishnu Purana that the living entities belongs to the spiritual nature. The potency of the Supreme Lord is spiritual, and the living entities, although they are called marginal potency, are also spiritual. If the living entities were not spiritual, this description of impregnation of the Lord would not be applicable. The Supreme Lord does not put his semen into that which is not spiritual. But it is stated here that the Supreme Person puts his semen into material nature. This means that the living entities are the spiritual by nature. After impregnation, material nature delivers all kinds of living entities, beginning from the greatest living creature, Lord Brahma, down to the insignificant ant. In all varieties of form in Bhagavad Gita, material nature is clearly mentioned as Sarvayonishu. This means that all varieties of species, demigods, human beings, animals, birds, and beasts, whatever is manifested, material nature is the mother. And personality of Godhead is a seed giving father. Generally, it is experienced that father gives life to the child, but the mother gives the body. Although the seed of life given by father, the body develops within the womb of the mother. Similarly, the spiritual living entities are impregnated into the womb of material nature, but the body, being supplied by material nature, takes on many different species and forms of life. The theory that symptoms of life are manifest by the interaction of the 24 material elements is not supported here. The living force comes directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and it's completely spiritual. Therefore, no material scientific advancement can produce life. The living force comes from the spiritual world and has nothing to do with the interaction of the material elements. Wonderfully said. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurannritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Panchata Deshadarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaurabhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today's subject matter is where jivas came from. We'll go little detail about that, how jivas will come to this material nature. Srimad Bhagavatam is a wonderful study. Srimad Bhagavatam will explain 10 subject matters. What are those? Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam vatayah manvantareshanukata nirodho muktir ashrayah. It is talking about 10 subject matters. Sarga visarga. Sarga means creation. Visarga means the subcreation or the cosmic manifestation. Sthanam. Sthanam means the position of living entity, the position of this whole planetary system. In the first canto is talking about the first subject matter, the sarga, the creation. The second canto is talking about second subject matter, visarga, the cosmic manifestation. And third chapter is talking about the status quo, the position. What is the position of living entity and what is the position of different planetary systems. Here, before we go there, we want to understand a little bit about this pradhana, mahatattva, prakriti, the Bhagavan and the jivas. And then we will go how all these are interrelated. Before this material nature or before this cosmic manifestation, the Lord exists always. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, always exists. Is not bounded with any of inhalations, or any of birth, death, old age, disease. He will exist eternally. From him, the Karnodakasai Vishnu is one of the expansion, and there are two things. One is the spiritual world, and the second one is Pradhana. The Pradhana is the substance. It is unmanifested and indifferentiated. What does it mean? Pradhana is a lump of matter. It doesn't have any characteristic, any manifestation or anything. Just it's a lump of matter with a mixture of everything. It's a lump. It's a raw material kind of thing. On the Pradhana, when this Karnodaka Sai Vishnu glances through his internal potency, Ramadevi, the gunas and the kala time will enter. And this Pradhana is also the manifested form is called Prakriti. And when this Jiva and Gunas enter into the Jivas and Kala enter into this Prakriti, the Mahatattva will manifest. So there is a minute difference between Pradhana, Prakriti, and Mahatattva. But all three are kind of synonyms with minute differences. Usually, this Pradhana, the Supreme Lord, Jivas are eternal. They don't, they will exist ever. They don't have any expiry date, or they don't have any annihilation or anything. These three will exist all the time eternally. The upcoming slokas will talk about that matter. But when from where jivas are coming in this material nature, that is the subject matters today. There are different theories. The Sankhya philosophy is telling that there are 24 elements in Pradhana, or this material nature. By these 24 elements, the living entity will form. No God exists. The atheistic Sankhya philosophy will tell like that. Even the Darwin theory also is telling the same thing. From this material nature, one single micro living entity came, and then it expanded from amoeba to another living entity, then from there monkey came, and from the monkey human being came. But these two theories, either atheistic Sankhya philosophy, Darwin theory, are not proven. It's a speculative theories. Why it is not proven? Let's say Sankhya philosophy is telling that, atheistic Sankhya philosophy is telling that the jivas are created with 24 elements of this material nature. If you take technically, our body is created with some material elements like calcium. Bones are created by calcium, and some water, some manganese, and so many elements. Iron, we will take, right, different deficiency tablets. So, but if I give all these elements, will you be able to create a living entity? No, we cannot create living entity. So that theory, if it all true, if I give those 24 elements, you should be able to create that living entity. But now nobody is able to create the living entity. So that theory is mm, gone. The theory is not proven. And then Darwin theory also is not proven. Darwin is telling that from single micron to different living entities came out of that. With over the period of time, they all got changed into different forms. But if that is the case, if human being came from monkey, monkey should not be exist, because monkey is transformed into a human being. Now monkeys exist and human being exists. So all living entities are exist even now or before also. It's not like that one living entity is transformed to another living entity. No, these are all exist. And another theory is the living entities came from marginal energy. The first theory, the first section we discussed, Lord has three energies, right? External energy, that nothing but material nature. And second one is marginal energy, and nothing but the jivas or living entities. And the internal energy, or nothing but spiritual energy. The first one we discussed, the external energy, the jivas are not created from the external energy. The second theory is talking about the jivas are created from marginal energy. There is a border between the spiritual world and material world, and these jivas taken birth in this marginal energy, so that they can go to either spiritual world, or they can go to either in the material world. And that is another. Some Gaudiya Vaishnavas will argue that the jivas came from the marginal energy. That is also not true. Why? Here Krishna is telling that Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna is telling that the jivas are given by me, because I am impregnated. I am the father of these jivas. He's clearly tell that. So if Krishna is spiritual and the jiva is uh, the seed of the spiritual energy, obviously the seed also will be spiritual energy. So there is no argument in that. This marginal energy means you have a free will, either you go there and here, but that doesn't mean that the jivas did not came from spiritual world. So the jivas are impregnated into this material nature by the Supreme Father. How can we understand? Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, majority of the people think like that I am belongs to this material nature. This is my world, or this is my place, or this is this. We can understand this kind of mentality with various analogies. Let's say majority of us came from India. The first generation people think like that, okay, we are not belongs to this country. We came from India. The second generation people will think like that, okay, yeah, actually I'm from India, but I'm here because I'm here, right? I'm staying many years. And third generation people, they think like that, no, India is not my country. This is my country. I am here. Similarly, over the period of time, after taking so many births and so many attachments of this material nature, the living entity thinks like that, I belongs to this material nature. But actually, we are belongs to the spiritual world, not this material nature. And also we can understand this one, even though the root is father, suppose if any baby take birth, the root is father. Without father impregnate the semen to the mother's womb, the baby will not produce. Even though the body is given by mother, but the root cause is the semen, the father. But the baby always think like that, I came from mother. I am the source. My source is my mother. Father, I don't know who is he. So mother is giving me all care, all service to me, so that I belongs to my mother. Usually, the babies are so attached to the mother. Similarly, the jivas, even though they are all impregnated by the spiritual energy, the internal potency of Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but with the association, or they take the body from this material nature, the jivas are thinking like that they belongs to this material nature. That's why the jiva will not think to go back to Godhead. They think like that here. But actually, the Atma will have a spiritual nature. This body will have a material nature. Atma will not adjust. The spirit soul will not be able to adjust in this material nature. Always think like that, this is not my place. This is not my place. Atma will always disgusted with this material nature. Always think like that, this is my temporary place, or it's not my permanent place. Just like Atma, how it will think. Atma think like that, this material world is like some relative's house or some guest house. What will happen if you go to some relative's house or some friend's house? Even though you are there, you will not feel so comfortable. You will have a nice bedroom or nice arrangements, everything. But some one thread will go in your mind, this is not my house, I need to go back to my home. That thread will be there all the time. And after 3-4 days, you will get bored, and the person who is hosting you is also get bored, and you will leave that place. Similarly, the Atma also will not be able to adjust this in this material nature. No matter how many comforts or how many things you give, Atma always will disgust with this material nature. That is the original nature of the spiritual entity. But out of so many modes and so many attachments, manasashtendriyani sthani karshati, prakriti sthani karshati. The mind and these five senses are so much attached to this prakriti. That's why this Atma again and again will take birth again and again here in this material nature, and the jiva will suffer life after life after life, and things like that. This is my nature, but that is a quality of a Sudra with ignorance. The ignorant person will think like that animalistic way. He think like that, I means this body, I need to be satisfied this body. I need to be live comfortably, and whatever body demands, I need to supply it. That is the duty of this life, or that is the purpose of this life. And that is a quality of Sudra or ignorant person. The real understanding is I'm not belongs to this material nature. I came here with my unwanted desires, or the association of this mode. So I want to purify myself and go back to my original place, that is my spiritual world. That is a mode of transcendental, or mode of pure goodness, or the Brahmana nature, or the Vaishnava nature. So we need to remove our ignorance with the light of knowledge. This Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and understand the origin of the living entity, origin of our real source, and work towards that. Not to stuck with all other false theories and false enjoyments and so-called facilities, development, all these things. We should always thrive, or always try to go back to Godhead, like Jadavarata. Jadavarata is so stubborn. He experienced so many calamities. Initially, he took a birth as a king, Bharata, and then his mind was attached to the deer, and he took a birth as a deer, and then he realized it, and then he took a birth as an ignorant Brahmana, like a foolish Brahmana. And then, even though he was behaving like that, he was very highly intelligent. And inside, he was having a thread. I don't want to be attached to any of this material nature or any of these attractions. I want to go back to Godhead. So, with that nature, he served the Supreme Lord, and he went back to Godhead. Similarly, so many things will influence us, and so many attractions, but we need to know the original nature. We are all impregnated by the Karnataka Sai Vishnu into this material nature. Our original position is not this material world. So we need to go to original nature, original spiritual world. And that is the life of, that is the purpose of this human being. That is the purpose of a Vaishnava. We need to behave, or we need to achieve that goal instead of thinking like a Sudra. Thank you very much. Over to Madhuri Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhuji. Okay, I think he's in the mute or not able to hear my voice. We will chant 3 times Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and call it for the day. So we wish you a very, very happy Krishna consciousness day ahead. And we'll pray Lord Narasimhadeva should protect all of us without any influence of Maya, and advance in Krishna consciousness. जय नरसिंह श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंह प्रह्लादेश पद्मभृंग उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं सिंहं So wish a very very happy Krishna consciousness day ahead. We'll chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra and then one chant Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Shri
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Jai Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Prahlades, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringham. Ugra Veera
Ugraveeram,
Mahavyam Jwalantam Sarvatomukam
Jalantam
Narsingam Vishnam
Sarvatam,
Bhadram Mithya Mithya Namiham.
Narsingam Vishnum Bhadram Mithya
Narsingh
Namah.
Bhagwan ki jai,
Jai,
Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Ki Jai,
For our humble obeisances to all the Samma Vaishnavas. Vancha
Vanchakalpatarubhasya
Kalpatarubhasya
Kripa
Patitanam
Sindhuvaya,
Pavane Vaishnave
Patitanam
Namaha
Pavanabhyo,
Vaishnavam
Vaishnavebhyo
ki jai.
Namo Namah, Vaishnavas Ki
Granthra
Jai,
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Ki Jai,
Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki
Gaur
Jai.
Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari 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 Hari.
Oh, thank you, Guru.